Granblue Fantasy Relink came out earlier this month, a game a lot of us have waited a really long time to play. This game was one of my most anticipated titles for this year, and I was anxious to see if it lived up to my excitement for it. I got a taste of it in the demo, which increased my eagerness to play it. I'm going through the post-game right now, but this review will focus on my experiences through the main story. So let's just get into it and answer the biggest question for Relink. Is this game worth the 8 billion years we've waited to play it, or not? The story of Relink involves the captain of the Grand Cipher, which is your choice between Gran or Digita. The captain and their crew are making their way towards Zega Grande Skydom, where they are attacked by monsters. The captain and a girl named Lyria summons Bahamut to help fight off their foes when they seem to lose control of their summoned beast. Unknown to what caused Bahamut's outburst, the crew head to the town of Folka, where they meet a man named Roland, who is the town's local handyman and problem fixer. They are interrupted by a villager stating that there's trouble and the cause is a primal beast. The crew offers to help Roland to investigate and head to the mining village of Tempil that is overrun by goblins. The townspeople are saved, and the crew continue to investigate the rampage of a primal beast that caused such a stir, wondering if it is linked with their earlier incident with Bahamut. The crew heads to the location of the primal beast Furikin in an attempt to quell its savage behavior. When after a victory, the party is subdued by the Pilgrims of Avia, led by the woman Lilith, and then Lyria is kidnapped. The captain and his allies must get Lyria back while unfolding the mysteries of Zega Grande Skydom and its primal beasts. So what I know of Granblue is that it was a mobile game and a fighting game. I played the fighting game, which I found to be fun, but didn't really grab me. But I liked the character designs and the way the game looked. I feel it's important to bring this up because the character relationships in Relink and the events that happened before the game are very vague. The game brings up vocabulary and information as if the player is supposed to already know about it, and I'm just gonna say, I really hate it when games do this. Let's say you want to know what the fuck everyone is talking about half the damn time. Like, what's a primal beast? Well, to make things even worse, the game provides this information in the form of codex. Ugh, look, I'm not opposed to reading, but I really don't want to have to read through all this just to get a slightly better than basic understanding of what is going on. I mean, this is some Final Fantasy XIII garbage. I don't want to scroll through glossary terms to better understand what's going on around me. The game should be doing that through its storytelling. But there's more. Let's say you want to learn more about someone on the crew. There are side quests offered called Fate episodes, which, walls of text in front of a still image. I mean, come on. If a game isn't willing to explain through in-game character interactions, cutscenes, or maybe even an opening recap before you play the game, then I'm left to assume the devs don't really find it that important, which in turn makes me not find it very important. This then resulted in me not caring at all about the story of Relink, and not caring about the characters either. Outside of their abilities and roles in combat, that's all I really cared about. I'm not saying every single game needs to have the best story ever, but this didn't even feel like the writers tried. I just ignored the glossary and mashed through the Fate episodes. I just did not give a shit. It's as if the story of the game was made just for diehard Granblue fans that already knew everything leading up to Relink. I view the way the story is told as a missed opportunity to swoop up potential new fans to the series. Let's move on to the meat of the game, the gameplay. Each character has their own method of attacking, mainly using light and heavy attacks to perform combos. Almost every character is accompanied by their own unique bar to build. For example, the more you attack, the stronger Gran's skills will be when you use them. Or with Fairy, she gains up to 3 ghost animals to assist the more you execute. Some characters have different strategies, but I found that most characters kind of play the same. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I enjoy the combat in this game. It's easy, it's flashy, and I find it satisfying. You have attack skills, buffs and debuff skills, healing, and super attacks. All of this revolves around the Link system. The Link system is a bar that is built, and once it reaches 100%, you can unleash a Link attack, which is a quick, powerful attack. If all the characters have a full Link gauge, it can then cause a temporary slowdown, so you can lay down more damage while the enemy is helpless. The game just feels like an arcade game to me. There are characters that you can just mash one button with and be fine. It's not complicated, and I find it fun, though I could totally understand if people get bored with it, as I'm sure it will get too repetitive for some. Fairy was my favorite character from Granblue Fantasy Versus, so I play with her a lot, and I dig her playstyle of long-range combat and mixing in her defense down and slowdown skills. Then there's Rosetta, who plays the most different in my opinion versus everyone else. While all the other characters are hacking and slashing, she needs to grow plants on the battlefield that raise in level the more she attacks. The strat of summoning them at the right time and mixing in the correct skills was really fun for me. I honestly wish more of the cast was diverse combat-wise, but it didn't ruin the fun of combat for me. And leveling up is very simple. Completing quests and gaining experience provide you with a pool of master points, which are shared between all the characters. Open the desired tree and just unlock them. I neither dislike or like this, as I more understand why it's set up this way. Since the game loop is a focus on grinding missions over and over again, it makes sense to me that there's a pool of points for everybody to upgrade all their skills and stats. Moving on to how you quest in Relink, it's divided between main story quests and the quest counter. The main story quests put you in a long stage with secrets, objectives, sub-bosses, final stage bosses, everything like that. The quest counter throws you into arena-style quests, which is basically just murder everything on the screen. At the end of these quests, you acquire a point total and a rank to determine the loot you receive, which in turn can be used to upgrade weapons, forge new weapons, so on and so forth. There are also side quests that you can get while running around town and talking to the villagers, which are usually either bring X amount of items or kill X amount of specific monsters. And not to go off on a wild tangent here, but I really don't like that the towns in this game don't have a mini-map. You only have a compass at the top of the screen to kind of locate where all these new side quests are. Eventually you do unlock a fast travel, but a mini-map would have been great to just see where everybody who has a quest is at, instead of having to mindlessly try to use this compass to find it. I found it very annoying. I enjoyed the arena type quests, but I have to admit, I was disappointed that the majority of the quests are just that. There's some quests that have you travel through parts of the story mission maps, but they don't offer anything new. I would have loved it if the game included quests that allow you to revisit the main story maps and complete objectives and find new secrets. But sadly, those maps are limited to the main story. You can replay all the main story quests once the game is completed, but it's just the same stuff you already discovered. And I don't even want to talk about these sand surfing quests, this just reminds me of Superman 64 or some shit. There is an awesome feature the quests have. At the end, you can select to put the quest on repeat and just grind away, instead of having to back out, reselect it, and go back in. Definitely an awesome and welcome convenience that I really liked. Finally, I want to talk about how absolutely gorgeous this game is. Like, holy shit. The dev knocked it out of the park in the graphics department. Backdrops look like hand paintings. Characters and enemies look detailed and impressive. All the effects on screen during combat make me grow a big, wet, rubbery one. This is a game that is just peak eye candy. Honestly, it's worth playing the game just to look at it. The game definitely looks better than what it is. And I don't mean that as the game is bad, but the game just looks that damn good. To answer the question posed at the beginning of this video, was this game worth the long wait? I have to say no. I don't think this is a bad game at all. I'm still playing through all the post-game content, and I'm going to continue doing so. But its complete fumble storytelling, pages of codex to read, and extremely simple combat and gameplay, it doesn't really make it stand out versus any other action RPG. Except for how it looks. For fuck's sake, I can't get over how amazing Relink looks. But all criticisms aside, I'm having fun playing it, and I'm enjoying being dazzled by everything. And in the end, if you're having fun, that's all that really matters. During post-game, Relink has turned into a podcast game for me, so I grind through while watching stuff on my other monitor. And once again, I really do love the arcade feel of the game. Have you played Granblue Fantasy Relink? What are your thoughts on the game? Feel free to share them. Thank you for watching.